What's up, everyone? Josh or Miho here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Neldöreth, entitled The Saints of Blasphemy 1, Baptized in Blasphemy. This is released on Extreminal Productions. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very blasphemous, wicked hybrid of raw black metal and old school death metal. Now, this is one of those bands that pretty much crosses the fine line between both of those music styles. Earlier on in this band's existence, they had a pretty much raw black metal kind of sound, but in later releases, they ventured on towards a more old school death metal kind of approach. Pretty much, if you think of Acheron or Vital Remains, you would think of the style that Neldöreth had pretty much set out to do. And these guys have been very much active within the metal scene over the course of the last almost 10 years or so, putting out a bunch of demos and a couple of really good full lengths, Invert the Crucifix and Under Azazel's Dark Wings. Some really, really good stuff. And of course, the EP that they came out with in 2010 called Invert Christ. Really, really sick stuff. Now we have their third full-length album, and from what I understand, this is going to be the first in a trilogy of releases that this band is doing. There's going to be two more efforts that follow up this particular album. It's 8 tracks, and it clocks in at around 46 minutes in length, and pretty much with the exception of the intro and outro, there are some pretty lengthy songs to be found on here, but beneath the lengthy songs lies some really, really good songwriting going on here, and I would have to say this is a really solid start to a pretty potentially great trilogy. There's a lot to enjoy about this album, and the main thing that will get you very much interested about this release is the guitar work. The guitar work is absolutely top-notch. I love the way this guitar is being played on this album. Just the way the riffs are. They're frenzied, they're crazy, and I just love the way that it's played. The riffs are sensational. I love the leads, and I think the soloing that's being done on this album definitely adds a lot of character and finesse to this album's concept and style. I think it's sinister. I think it's heavy. I just love the devastation that the guitar can bring. It's amazing. I mean, if you take the title track and songs like Christian Despotism and Abomination Proclaimed Through Heresy, you get some incredible guitar work going on here, and I think that's a major standout to me about this particular album. I love that. I love the guitar on this album, and I honestly think it's one of the best things to point out about this particular album. The bass work is good too. I enjoy the way that the bass is played. It's very clear. It's very audible. It definitely blends in properly throughout this entire release, and it definitely does have its place to be heard amongst this entire record. I think the bass is really good here. Drum-wise, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that this is a drum machine that's being played and utilized here. If it is, I'm not complaining about anything, but just the way the drums are on this record, it does have a bit of a drum machine kind of quality to it, but I think the drumming on this record definitely is well played and well suited, well patterned out. Just the way the fast blasting is, the way the snare sounds, the way the cymbals are. I think the drumming is pretty good. I know that this band would probably sound a lot better live as opposed to being in the studio, but what's being done here, I think it works pretty well. I'd love to see these guys play live one of these days. And some of the more crazier atmospheric moments of this album, there's a particular interlude on here that's basically just an amalgam of noise and spoken word narration. It's as if you're being pretty much sent off to hell and you pretty much are being read your last rites. And there's some crazy noise and just some pretty chaotic stuff going on. I forget the name of the one particular track, but there's one track on here that definitely is spoken word and very much relative with noise and craziness. It's pretty damn unique and definitely adds to this album's concept. And we get to the vocals. I love this guy's vocal approach. Very high pitched, rasped screams. Very much you get the black metal side of this band with the vocal style. I think it's awesome. I definitely enjoy the way he delivers his words. He delivers his evil sermons very, very well here. Great vocal work, awesome lyrical approach. Of course, you would expect the kind of evil and wrath to be expected with this type of band, and it definitely does not disappoint when it comes to the lyrical departments. Of course, like I said before, if you're into Vital Remains or Acheron, or if you're into raw black metal, you'll definitely enjoy what's being done here, both vocally and lyrically. So, overall, I'd have to say this is a really damn good first effort as far as a trilogy is concerned, because I kind of enjoy when bands do these conceptual kind of pieces. You never know what exactly is going to happen, and hopefully the next two parts of this trilogy will be much, much better and get better with time. And I definitely recommend this album to anybody who is a fan of old school black metal, old school death metal. It's the best of both worlds with this particular band, and I think this band is going to continue to kick ass and take names. If I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say the title track, Baptized in Blasphemy, Christian Despotism, Ritual Suicide. I would have to say it's one of the best songs I've heard this year. It's a 12.5-minute long song, but there's so much variety and craziness and depth to go on with that particular track, and it's amazing. And Abomination Proclaimed Through Heresy. Some pretty damn good songs here. I'm looking forward to the next parts of this trilogy, and hopefully more great things will be soon to come. So, again, the album is The Saints of Blasphemy 1, Baptized in Blasphemy, from Neldöreth. This is released on Extreminal Productions. Check this out wherever you're able to hear it and find it. And as far as the score is concerned, I'm going to give this a very strong 8 out of 10. Really awesome first part of a trilogy, and I'm looking forward to the next two parts of it. So support Neldöreth, support underground metal. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel, and until the next time, Army Ho out.